Okay, we're here with head coach Beth Alford-Sullivan following the Big Ten championships, kind of in the locker rooms here, getting ready to head out of town. But overall, women finished third, men were sixth, and of course, Caitlin Lane was the Big Ten individual champion on the women's side. So overall, how did things go for Penn State today?
Actually, let me clarify. We're not in the locker room right now with the video camera, but we're outside here getting changed up and getting ready to head back to Happy Valley. The day was an interesting day. And actually, on the women's side, I'll start with the women. That's the easier one to start with. This might rank up as one of my favorite Big Ten races ever. Coming in, you knew there was five or six teams that could put together some great racing. As it turned out, there was three of us that really put together some great racing. And on one hand, you could say, "Oh, we were so close, we almost pulled off a win," and be disappointed, or you can say, "Look at how well we stepped up to the challenge." And I was very, very impressed with our women's squad today. They have struggled all season. If you've seen my flip cams, you know they've struggled all season, and today they really raced, and very, very proud of them as a team. Brooklyn Ritter finally getting a competitive race in for us, really helping us out today. And then just some great racing with Caitlin and Kara, and Emily Giannotti finishing in the top 14. I have to say, I give a little shout out to Kara Milhouse. She's been sick as a puppy dog since our last meet. For 2 weeks, she's been on antibiotics, and this could have been, she could have won the race, she could have been 7th as she finished, or she could have been 37th. I mean, I really didn't know what she was going to be able to give us with that chest cold that she's had, but she just kept fighting that entire race, and to come home on the home stretch, she beat up on 2 Michigan State gals on the home stretch, which is what she needed to do in that race. Tremendous effort. And Caitlin Lane, wire to wire, literally. The girl loves to run. She loves to run from a half step in front, and she wire to wire this one. Had a little challenge in there with the last couple of athletes there, and ends up beating, I think, second place by 14 seconds. Breaks 20 minutes. That's a significant run, and I couldn't be more proud of her. That was absolutely an awesome display of what this program is about, and I think these women are on task to try and crack the top 10 in the country. I really, really do. So that's that on the ladies. On the guys, an interesting race on the guys' side. It's hard to coach against a podium-type team that Wisconsin is. It's very difficult. You don't really know what they're going to do and how they're going to control the race. You have to give them the nod that they're going to control the race. And same with Indiana being as highly ranked as they are. You really can't put together a race strategy that can do much in the race. You have to be responsive. And this year, Wisconsin just took it. Coach Burns said, their plan was to take control of it by the mile, and they moved through the first part of that race. They calmed it down the second part when they had the win in hand. But that hurt a team like us. We weren't able to match that up front, and we got caught off guard, I think, a little bit with our guys too far back. Even Kyle and Vince were a little too far back. They worked through the race very well, and they're running in some of the best competition in the country right now, and to finish in the top 14, that was impressive. But the rest of the guys really just kind of lackluster, and I think a little bit of panic set in too. They made some mistakes early. They didn't get engaged, and then they kind of panicked. And someone like a Matt Fisher really just let the race go and fell apart out there. That can't happen and be a championship team. So we missed out, I think, on the men's side, but the Big Ten was going to be hard to crack the top 5 anyways, and we knew that coming in. So let's get over it and regroup and try and get our butts in the NCAA championships. And that's what I've told the guys right now is let's get over this. Let's not feel sorry for ourselves. Let's add another mile to our race and get after it at the regionals. So already that's where my focus is, and I think that's where the guys will be in 24 hours or so.
So just one little stat to throw in here. We actually had 2 of the last 3 individual title winners on the women's side, and Bridget Franek at 09 and Caitlin this year, obviously. What does that say for a program like Penn State at the conference level and just consistently being in the upper echelon of the Big Ten?
Well, to me, that's the important part of things. If you look at the consistency of our track program finishing in the top 3 for going on 10 years now, this is on the women's side, and you look at the consistency of the cross-country team, being in the thick of it in, a dead all-out race. We've been in it, and I think our team is growing from the focal point being the Big Ten championships to the national championships. And I think a women's team like this, even a men's team, can probably do some damage at the national championships and not feel like they can do much damage here. I think the women, though, they're moving beyond a complete focus of the Big Tens and saying we want the next level to be big. And people like Bridget Franek set the stage for Caitlin Lane, and people like Caitlin Lane is setting the stage for, the Natalie Bowers and the Giannottis and the kids coming right on her heels. I've got a wicked 1-2 punch with Caitlin and Kara. If they stay healthy and they stay tasked on and don't let stress get to them, we're gonna be a nice showing at the NCAAs. And it's the same with Vince and Kyle. These guys are experienced. They need to get their butts to the national championships and get their All-American status. That's the goal, and I think we can do that. If we have 2 for the men, 2 for the women leading at national championships, All-American level races, we've got some good teams going to be following in too.
All right, Coach Sullivan, we'll see you at regionals.
Thank you.